absolutely beautiful Gemini friends, and welcome to your horoscope for June of 2021, where Gemini this month we have got a solar eclipse, and it's a special one because it's happening in your sign, which means that this push, this fresh energy, this burst that is coming towards you is really your indicator to step more fully into your power, step more fully into your confidence and your identity. Get yourself out there, get yourself into the alignments, the places that you would like to be. And I think that that is an absolutely incredible energy to have on the table, especially since this particular eclipse is not only in your sign, but it has also got a delicious stability happening between Mercury, your ruling planet, even though it's retrograde, and Saturn, who is also retrograde. This says, Gemini, you've done some work. You've done some good. You're strong. You're stable. Now get out here. So I can't wait to talk about that with you, but your ruling planet Mercury will come out of retrograde this month. We will send Jupiter and both Neptune into retrograde, and we're also going to run up against the Saturn and Uranus square again. But the good news is it's not new. We saw it in February. So now let's continue evaluating and looking at the lessons around what it's bringing to the table, okay? All right, Gemini, let's get in here. So right at the beginning of the month, we've got Venus moving into the energy of Cancer, which is just next door, so just one house away from you, into your second house. Now, Venus loves being in Cancer. Venus loves being in the second house. This is a really nice configuration that you'll have all the way until June, until the end of June. So this is really nice because Venus in Cancer wants to beautify the home, wants to beautify the money, wants to beautify these things. And so I think it's an opportunity for Venus here to really have you emotionally connected to what's going on around your personal value, but also to have you personally connected to what's going on around your money. And there is this sense that when it comes to money, when it comes to value, how is your family involved in this, Gemini? Like, what's the story around family and how much emphasis they're playing on either your money or your value? Now, this could be great. Let's say that you're living in a bigger family or something like that, and you guys have, this could be a financial boom that kind of comes for you, or something that is of benefit. It could ease some things for you with this particular energy. It could also ease temperaments behind what's going on with your family. But either way, know that Venus here visiting the second house in the energy with the characteristics of Cancer are really trying to be very emotionally healthy, are trying to be financially protective and secure as well. Now, on the 10th, we're going to have that new moon solar eclipse in your sign at 19 degrees. Again, this is an important time because the Sun and Mercury, who is your ruling planet, but also retrograde at this time, are going to be together, okay? Which tells us that this eclipse is happening right here as they're dancing together. And this is the midway point through the Mercury retrograde cycle. So we're halfway through looking at what has been. You're halfway through reviewing you and who you are, how you've been showing up for some time, right? Not to mention, things have been happening on the Gemini Sagittarius axes, including our nodal work, for some time right now. So I really feel like at this new moon where you're planting your seeds of intention about you, you're in your spotlight right now, Gemini. It's asking you these questions about, what's the story? What's been your personal narrative, your elevator pitch for quite some time? What are the beliefs you are changing from and you're ready to live out in public a different way? What's the educational path? Maybe what's that publishing, marketing, broadcasting path you've been putting yourself out there in the world with? Like, what are the beliefs that have governed you for a very long time? And at this point, with the stability of Mercury, of Saturn, Neptune is, creeping in a little bit of energy that is at odds with this particular moon. But what is it showing you? That you are ready to live out in public, out in this world, with your shoulders back, your chest up, and share your message of Gemini in a really different way, or just in a way that just reeks of self-esteem. I absolutely love this for you because I do think you've been doing the work. Now, this eclipse also, because it's not just a 4-week event, it's going to take us about 6 months. I do think that it could put you in contact with people as well because you're showing up a little bit differently. You know, our vibe attracts our tribe, with people who are also willing to help you move out or move forward with something that you've been wanting to do or take on, okay? On the 11th, we see Mars moving into the energy of Leo, which lights up your 3rd house space, and Mars will be traveling through this energy until July 29th. Now, Mars in Leo likes to be in Leo. Mars likes being in a fire energy. You know, they typically have a good time. So the studying, the writing, the producing content, the talking with neighbors, the buying of selling of things, housing, negotiations. I really do want to say with Mars here in Leo, if you've been thinking about writing a book, you've been kind of writing a script a little bit, whatever it is that you've been trying to get that pen to paper on and express to put out there, please move your hiney during this energy and let Mars's energy, let Mars's influence give you a little bit of forward motion. Now, Mars is still Mars in Leo. If this is a time where that conflict needs to happen because it is in conflict with what's in your heart, I do think that Mars will bring some conflict to the table, and sometimes you got to have a breakdown before you have a breakthrough, okay? But Mars is also going to be good for my people who are needing to be in conflict, my attorneys. This is a pretty strong energy for helping you win your case, okay? Now, on the 14th, we're going to see Saturn and Uranus coming into their 2nd of 3 squares here in 2021. The first one we experienced was in February. Both Saturn and Uranus were both out of retrograde. They were both interacting, you know, in a pretty forward way, but their clash brings tension. It puts us in this position where we're uncomfortable. I feel like the way I've been doing things, the things I believed, they are clashing against something that is trying to unroot and shift in me now. So you've seen it, and I'll ask you, go back to February. What came unrooted for you between your 12th house of like where I rest, my creativity, my relaxation, my spirituality, and your 9th house, you know, your higher beliefs, your ethics, your morals that have governed you for a very long time. You know, what is the story, Gemini, you've been telling yourself for a very long time, and now it's like it doesn't fit. It's being innovated so that you can take yourself and continue to take yourself out in the world in a really different way. Today and the days after could feel like a little bit of a frustration hangover, most definitely, but it's not new. Saturn is in retrograde at this one, so you have seen this. We have been here already. What have you already been shown, and what is the answer to what's the story you're telling yourself? What are the beliefs that are changing? You know, do you teach and you practice out in the world, and you're like, I really want to practice something completely different, and it's based on a different belief structure? Let me know what that is for you, okay? Oh, you could be changing schools too. You're like, I got to change this complete educational track. This is not what I want to do. On the 20th, it's a busy day. We're going to see the sun move into the energy of Cancer, welcoming in our summer solstice. Now, this is also going to light up your 2nd house space. So the money house is starting to pick up a little bit of energy. So the way you make money, the way you use those skills to make money, go out and bring money home, even your possessions will become highlight at this particular time. Now, we're also going to see Jupiter on the same day move retrograde in the energy of Pisces. Now, Jupiter is going to go retrograde in Pisces at 2 degrees, okay? Jupiter's retrograde in Pisces is at the tip top of your chart, so the 10th house space. And this is where I really do think at that eclipse that happened at the beginning of the month on the 10th, this is where you may be going, Gemini. Yeah, I believe something different. And if I'm going to work or I'm going to be a part of this world or what I have to give, I have to really get clear on what my new spiritual arrangement and my new spiritual understanding around this is. So I do feel like this Jupiter retrograde, even though we only got just a couple degrees into the energy of Pisces, I think that Jupiter's retrograde is sending you back in there on a little bit of a spiritual mission around your career to say, are you doing it because this is right? Are you doing this because you want to be helpful? What do you have to give in this particular Piscean area? And I do think that you get more culmination as to if you're doing that and if you're on the right track and how spiritualized this area has gotten as we get to the end of the year, and you'll work on it in 2022, okay? On the 22nd, we see Mercury, your ruling planet, coming out of retrograde at 16 degrees of Gemini. So, of course, this is in the first house. So, over this last month, what have you been able to review in yourself? What have you been thinking? What has been on the re-edit? Who's come back into your life? You've reunioned or reconnected with them. And it's like, oh, we're having this revision of a collaboration. I am rejoining the world, but as this new version of myself. What does that look like for you? Now, of course, with ruling planet out of retrograde, you tend to have a little bit of a deep breath, but you still need to give Mercury a couple days to just have his cosmic latte, wake up, get it together, and then be able to move forward, okay? On the 24th, we're going to have a full moon in the energy of Capricorn. This will light up your 8th house space. Now, the full moon says that something needs to be ended, acknowledged, or adjusted. Jupiter, who's recently just gone retrograde, is actually giving some nice energy to both the moon and the sun at this particular eclipse, but still in your 8th house space of interconnection, joint resources, and things like that. I feel like the question that you're kind of taken to task with is, in your joint resources, are you still achieving? Does the alignment of your current joint connections, whether it be to friendships, lovers, people who have interest in your finances, people who have interest in your health and your well-being, is it helping you achieve what you want? Jupiter's little kisses that he's giving at this particular arrangement or at this particular lunar event are really bringing a wisdom to the table about, does that really fit where I'm going? Saturn is also giving a nice arrangement of structure at this particular moon as well, with Mercury, who's just come out of retrograde. So I think it is really a very nice configuration, and we'll jump into a separate moon video all of itself, okay? Now, as we get to the 25th, we're going to see Neptune stepping into retrograde. So now the retrograde energy of our outer planets is pretty high. We can expect the delays to really be kicking in, okay? As Mercury is retrograding in Pisces, it is again in this 10th house space of the career. But what happens when Neptune goes retrograde is that we don't have that dreamy quality available to us so much. It's just like, boom, this is reality. Like, this is today, you know? So it can feel a little bit harsher. It can feel a little bit heavy, but it is definitely very concrete. So as Neptune is retrograde at 23 degrees of Pisces, I think one of the things that we see, or we become available to see at this time, is what is truly real in your heart around your career. What is really true in your heart about what you're doing and what you're known for, what your reputation is known for out in public, and is that in a correct alignment with your spirit? Not just this place of like, I don't feel alive when I'm doing this. It is simply the question at this point, like when you close your eyes and you think about what you're doing in the world, does this align? Even if you're having to work really hard for it right now, does it align? And Neptune, because she's going to be retrograde, I think gives you a very staunch indicator of if you're in reality or not, okay? Now, as we close out this month, Gemini, we're going to see Venus move into the energy of Leo, which you will experience until about mid-July. Now, Venus entering into the energy of Leo, now we've seen Venus make some moves through your chart this month. She's in full forward motion, no retrogrades to be seen anywhere. She does go out of bounds this month. So, you know, when Venus is out of bounds, what we can plan to be doing is looking for love or affection or our value outside of our normal spheres. In your 3rd house in Leo, you know, where are you gathering abundant new ideas that will guide and feed the philosophies that you're now? How is it feeding your new story, right? Your new narrative of who Gemini is and what Gemini's purpose is. So let Venus be the benefic that it is in this particular energy, and guide you maybe outside of your normal realms of thinking, normal realms of distributing your information, your normal realms of information. You know, if you're always watching mythology on YouTube, go watch something medical. I don't know. Find a new place where you can let Venus's benefit in this particular area really be something good for you. Now, I do think too, okay, Venus here in Leo, if you did have a conversation or a little bit of a breakdown that's needed to happen with a sibling or a neighbor or something in a lease, Venus will actually be coming to help smooth that out just a little bit. But remember, Neptune is retrograde, so you're not going to have that daydreamy quality available to you. You need to stand and handle it just as it comes to your doorstep, okay? All right, my beautiful friends, I love you so much, and I look forward to seeing you next month. Bye, Gemini.